What is he focused on? I'll tell you what he's focused on. Shower heads.
You wash your hands, and in my case, I like to take a nice shower to take care of my beautiful hair. I have to stand under the shower for 15 minutes till it gets wet. It comes out drip, drip, drip. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it comes out drip, drip, drip. I believe that's how Stormy described it too, right?
Buckle up, everyone. Jimmy Kimmel didn't hold back when he took aim at Caroline Leavitt and her boss, Donald Trump, in what turned into a full-blown comedic takedown. In a segment that felt more like a roast than a monologue, Kimmel tore into the chaos surrounding their administration. From Caroline's almost comical attempts to defend the indefensible to Trump's trademark unpredictability, no one was spared. It's one of those moments you can't look away from, part hilarious, part jaw-dropping. Trust me, this is one late-night moment you'll want to see for yourself.
I'm sorry, have you ever paid a tariff? Because I have. They don't get charged on foreign companies, they get charged on the importers.
And ultimately, when we have fair and balanced trade, which the American people have not seen in decades, as I said at the beginning, revenues will stay here, wages will go up, and our country will be made wealthy again. And I think it's insulting that you're trying to test my knowledge of economics and the decisions that this president has made. I'm now regret giving a question to the Associated Press. Mary.
Trump's all over the place. Look at China. Over the past 48 hours, the tariffs he put on China have gone from 20% to 104% to now he says at least 145%. He's just calling out numbers like he's working a bingo hopper or something. There's no plan.
Jimmy Kimmel didn't hold back in his latest takedown of Caroline Leavitt and the entire Trump administration. It was one of those roasts you didn't know you needed, but once it started, you couldn't look away. And let's be real. Caroline Leavitt, who somehow climbed the ranks in Trump's ever-loyal circle, got a classic Kimmel-style verbal smackdown. It was sharp, brutal, and honestly, as satisfying as a cold drink on a blazing summer afternoon.
He has, and it's about time we have a president in the Oval Office who is putting the world on notice and will talk to any country that picks up the phone to call, and I can tell you the phones have been ringing off the hook wanting to talk to this administration, this president and his trade team to try to strike a deal. And it's because the world knows that they need the United States of America. They need our markets, they need our consumer. The president has a lot of leverage on his side because he has the best economy and the best country in the world that he leads, and he knows that. And it's about dang time we finally have a president who uses that economic leverage to benefit American workers. And that's
Caroline, bless her misguided heart, seems to believe the secret to political success is parroting every bit of nonsense that Trump drones on about. Watching her is like trying to navigate a maze blindfolded with your hands tied. Inevitably, you're going to crash into a wall. But hey, at least she looks confident, right? Her whole playbook is basically throw every outrageous talking point at the wall and hope something sticks. It's like tossing spaghetti at the ceiling, only this time, the ceiling is made of truth, and nothing's sticking.
There's no plan, unless you consult the MAGAverse, in which case there is and was definitely a plan.
I think he's had a plan all along, David, and I think we're seeing it play out.
This was his strategy all along.
This was the plan all along.
Was that his plan all along? It certainly looks like it.
This is the plan that he was pursuing all along.
I mean, you're watching the art of the deal in real time here.
Well, if that was the plan, congratulations, because in 1 week the plan lost $6 trillion and every country in the world hates us now.
Kimmel, of course, didn't pull any punches. He called it like it is. Caroline Leavitt isn't bringing anything new to the table. She's just another cog in the Trump propaganda machine, recycling the same worn-out talking points we've all heard 1,000 times. It's almost like she's auditioning to be Trump's personal parrot, but instead of squawking random phrases like a confused bird, she's been handed the oh-so-important title of Rapid Response Director for the Trump camp. Let's be honest, if you ever needed someone to dodge the truth like it's a heat-seeking missile, Caroline's your girl. She's practically made a career out of sidestepping facts, and from the looks of it, dodging accountability is her full-time job.
At our headquarters in Hollywood, where a lot of the country watched a very special episode of The White POTUS tonight. It was a night of pomposity and circumstance as Donald Trump addressed a joint session of Congress because, he rarely gets to be on TV, so why not? And anytime this maniac speaks, it is a joint session. It's a joint session, it's an edible session, it's a raid the medicine cabinet for anything to dull the pain kind of night.
If you're enjoying this, don't forget to subscribe. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Now, here's the thing. Caroline is the kind of person who could stand right in front of a raging fire, insist it's not hot, and then try to convince everyone else to go ahead and touch it, all while grinning like she just cured common sense. And what's her reward for tirelessly echoing Trump's most absurd claims? A comfy title and a front row seat as the official spin doctor, tasked with making every one of his wild antics sound halfway reasonable to the public. It's a tough job, but apparently, she's more than happy to do it.
These countries realize they've gotten filthy rich over the past few decades by imposing substantial tariffs on American-made products and ridiculous non-monetary barriers to block out American industry. The jig is up. Past American presidents sat by and let this happen, but President Trump stood up for our country, and he is saying no more. The president's message has been simple and consistent from the beginning. To countries around the world, bring us your best offers, and he will listen. Deals will only be made if they benefit American workers and address our nation's crippling trade deficits. America does not need other countries as much as other countries need us, and President Trump knows this.
I mean, sure, just what we all need in a crisis, right? Someone who's as skilled at dodging facts as they are at gaslighting the American public. But don't be fooled. Caroline's rise through the political ranks isn't built on intelligence or competence. It's built on one thing: loyalty. Not the kind of loyalty rooted in principle or integrity, but the kind that demands blind obedience, no matter how outrageous, harmful, or flat-out false the words coming from the top may be. And so, Caroline has carved out a career as the Trump camp's most loyal foot soldier, more focused on echoing his every whim than contributing a single ounce of meaningful insight. It's like being picked last in dodgeball, except the ball is the truth, and Caroline gets hit every time. The only thing she's ever managed to dodge with any consistency is reality.
President Trump, of course, ran one of the key policy items was that he was going to lower prices, lower the cost of everything from groceries, as he often said. But in many of the cases, it would seem that some of these moves could raise prices for real Americans on everything from low-income heating, that program, child care programs. Will nothing that the president's doing here in terms of the freeze in these programs raise prices on ordinary Americans?
What particular actions are you referring to that
I'm
would...
referring to LHEAP right now. That's the low-income heating program, for example. We can talk about... There's no clarity, so I could refer to a lot of them. We don't know what they are specifically. Can you tell us that LHEAP is not one of those affected?
So you're asking a hypothetical based on programs that you can't even identify.
Well, I just identified.
What I can tell you
just to be clear, since you guys haven't identified, let's do it together, just for Americans at home. Medicaid, is that affected?
I gave you a list of examples: Social Security, Medicare, welfare benefits, food stamps that will not be impacted by this federal pause. I can get you the full list after this briefing from the Office of Management and Budget. But I do want to address the cost cutting because that's certainly very important.
But let's not forget the real headliner here. Donald Trump, the man who somehow convinced a significant chunk of the country that having zero political experience, a long track record of failed businesses, and a habit of making self-serving decisions was actually a strength. Kimmel didn't hold back. He absolutely tore into Trump's so-called leadership. And by leadership, we mean his uncanny ability to tweet through a crisis and bluster his way past accountability. Trump's version of political genius is something to behold. If you ever needed proof that the bar for leadership can, in fact, be lowered even further, just look to the guy who got impeached twice and still walks away with a fan base that acts like they're part of a club that thinks the earth is flat, proudly and loudly.
Maybe he wants to make sure we know it's a scheduled thing and not an emergency. Either way, I bet it's going to be an excellent report. Let me guess. His physical strength and stamina are extraordinary, his blood pressure is astonishing, and he is by far the healthiest president to have single-handedly tanked the world economy overnight.
Kimmel went straight for the jugular, Trump's infamous ego-fueled obsession with winning. But of course, Trump's definition of winning has nothing to do with solving real problems or making life better for Americans. Nope. In Trump's world, a win means packing out a rally or seeing his name trending on Twitter for the 10,000th time, even if it's for all the wrong reasons. It's like his entire life has become one long, loud game of who can be the most outrageous, and somehow, he keeps coming out on top. Not because he's right, not because he's effective, but because spectacle, for him, is the strategy. And Kimmel made sure we didn't forget just how absurd that reality really is.
None of us can ever go on vacation again thanks to the plan. That's some plan. Let's be honest, even Donald Trump, not only doesn't he have a plan, he doesn't understand why he did this. Maybe he did it to distract us from all the other horrible stuff. Maybe he did it to distract us from the fact that they're deporting college students and firing the people in charge of fighting disease and fires, and he's attacking judges and journalists and lawyers. He's taking lunch and life-saving medications away from children who need it, not to mention helping his buddy Putin crush Ukraine and menacing Canada and Greenland, of all places. The fact is, we have a monkey flying the plane right now.
Kimmel didn't hold back when it came to highlighting the sheer absurdity of Trump's refusal to take responsibility for anything. The man could be standing in the middle of a burning building holding a gas can and still insist it wasn't his fault. The economy crashed on his watch? Not his doing. The pandemic spiraled out of control? Let's blame China. Kimmel had an absolute field day with that one, poking fun at Trump's go-to move. Point fingers at literally anyone else. It's like watching a kid stand over a shattered vase, hammer in hand, saying, "Wasn't me." It's almost impressive, the consistency with which he avoids accountability. Almost.
Roller coaster of a day. Trump this morning hit the snooze button on almost all those big, beautiful tariffs he levied. He paused the tariffs for 90 days, which puts us at right around the 4th of July to blow things up again. 90 days of turmoil now, but the world of finance was relieved, to say the least. The market shot way up today. The S&P had its biggest day since 2008. Wall Street was up 12%. Think about that. The best thing Trump has ever done for America was undo the incredibly dumb thing he did. I mean...
But wait, there's more. Trump's infamous obsession with the beautiful wall got its own spotlight too. Ah yes, the wall, that shining, hollow monument to Trumpian leadership. A grand promise wrapped in a catchy slogan and sold like a miracle cure. Kimmel made sure to remind everyone just how laughable it all turned out to be. This wall was supposed to do it all: secure the border, stop illegal immigration, and of course, make America great again. Whatever that's supposed to mean. But here's the punchline. Trump didn't even build it. The wall became less of a national security project and more of a national running joke. And Kimmel? He was practically in stitches. He pointed out that at this point, the only thing Trump has successfully built is a colossal ego, and even that seems like it's held together with duct tape and denial.
This man has the Diet Coke button-pressing strength of a man half his age. Remember his first public physical, the first results? And remember this guy, his doctor, Harold Bornstein, who said Trump would be the healthiest individual ever elected to the presidency? You know where that guy is now? He's dead. He's dead. He died 4 years ago. Nobody knows why. The doctor who told us Trump was in perfect health is dead. So I guess Trump will use somebody else for this one. I will say, after all he's put us through, it will be nice to know that on Friday, somebody will be squeezing his balls for a change.
And then there's the absolute circus that was Trump's response to the pandemic. A chaotic blend of misinformation, ego trips, and Twitter tantrums. Instead of listening to scientists or public health experts, Trump spent his time pushing bizarre, unproven treatments and picking fights on social media like it was his full-time job. Kimmel didn't miss a beat. His takedown was sharp, scathing, and painfully accurate, zeroing in on Trump's blatant disregard for science and his obsession with self-promotion over saving lives. Let's not forget, this is the same guy who once floated the idea of injecting bleach into the human body. Yes, that guy. The one who was supposed to be leading the country through a global crisis. You honestly couldn't script it better or worse. And let's not overlook Caroline Leavitt's almost comical loyalty to Trump's policies, the kind of loyalty that makes you wonder if she's reading from a script or genuinely believes the nonsense. Kimmel tore into her for defending the indefensible, comparing her to someone who'd stay on a sinking ship just because admitting it's going down would be too inconvenient. In one of his best bits, he painted her as the person who praises a leaking boat. Sure, it's taking on water, but look at those fancy seats. The more Kimmel roasted her, the more obvious it became. The real punchline isn't just Leavitt, it's the entire Trump operation, like a clown car from a political nightmare. Just when you think they can't top the absurdity, another character tumbles out with an even more outlandish line. But beyond the laughs, Kimmel struck a deeper chord, reminding viewers that all this chaos and ego isn't just comedy material. It's a symptom of a broken system, one where incompetence is excused and ego is rewarded. Funny? Yes. Frightening? Absolutely.
These countries realize they've gotten filthy rich over the past few decades by imposing substantial tariffs on American-made products and ridiculous non-monetary barriers to block out American industry. The jig is up. Past American presidents sat by and let this happen, but President Trump stood up for our country, and he is saying no more. The president's message has been simple and consistent from the beginning. To countries around the world, bring us your best offers, and he will listen. Deals will only be made if they benefit American workers and address our nation's crippling trade deficits. America does not need other countries as much as other countries need us, and President Trump knows this.
And in the end, what Kimmel's roast truly reveals is something painfully simple. Trump and his administration, for all their noise, bluster, and endless theatrics, have little to show but a legacy of chaos. A legacy built not on truth or progress, but on volume and deflection, where facts are irrelevant, and the only thing that seems to matter is who can shout the loudest, hoping the noise will drown out the incompetence. Caroline Leavitt, bless her unwavering devotion, is just another voice in the echo chamber, spinning the same tired record, hoping that a few flashy sound bites will distract from the reality, a pile of broken promises and reckless policies. But the illusion is wearing thin. This was never about making America great. It's about preserving a narrative, one that feeds egos, not communities, one that serves image, not the people. And the cost? A country that's more divided, more misinformed, and more exhausted than ever. Kimmel's comedy might make us laugh, but what it exposes, that's no joke.